Hey, welcome back to YT Finance, and this is the channel where I went to business school so you didn't need to, and today we are talking about Palantir Technologies PLTR stock and where the future stock price could be headed in the future. We will be analyzing three main articles, to where the first article gives us more of a steady prediction about where the majority of analysts and professionals project where the future share price is headed. After that, we will be analyzing an article by a Palantir stock bull, meaning that he believes the company could be worth substantially higher than it's worth right now, and he also gives us a fantastic forecast from now until 2026. We are then going to offset this article and review another article by another author who sees the exact opposite, to where this author is more bearish and negative. So I will be adding my own opinion by weighing both of these articles against each other and where I personally land, and if I agree or disagree with certain parts of both of those articles. Lastly, we will briefly talk about their overall earnings projections, revenue growth, as well as how these financial metrics will impact their overall share price positively or negatively. So for more videos on Palantir Technologies, remember to go and annihilate that like button right now, comment your thoughts down below, subscribe if you are new, and without further ado, let's jump right into today's stories. Palantir is a big data and analytics company which serves both commercial enterprises as well as government clients, and their ticker symbol is PLTR. If you're not familiar with this company already, the majority of analysts have an average price target for this company of around $9.55, and the current share price is around $9.70 as of right now, meaning that the current share price is trading above the average share price, which could indicate that this company could fall in their overall stock price over the next couple of weeks. There are close to 10 analysts from Zacks that are currently covering Palantir Technologies, and these analysts have low price targets that go as low as $4.50 to very high-end price targets that go as high as $20 per share. You can see below, out of these 10 analysts, we have 2 professionals saying to buy the company, 4 of them saying to hold the company, and another 4 saying to sell this company. That's why in the next 2 articles we're going to analyze, we're going to go over the bullish aspects of this company as well as the bearish and negative aspects, so you as an investor can be informed about this company and where it could be headed realistically. So let's dive into our first bullish article from an author who has a majority share in Palantir Technologies compared to the rest of his portfolio. And to be transparent with you, I only have around a 4% allocation to this particular company as of right now, because there are so many other companies on the stock market that are trading at a phenomenal discount that I am investing into. So I don't want to allocate my entire position to Palantir Technologies because there are so many other stocks to buy on the market. But with that being said, let's dive into it. The author, of course, highlights that Palantir Technologies had an amazing earnings report, to where the PLTR share price skyrocketed more than 20% after that earnings report was released. So if you are an investor who bought around that $5 to $7 range and you're in the money right now, that was a phenomenal gain that you just got. And don't be scared to take some profits off of the table before these profits end up going away, because normally after a very bullish surge in the overall share price, we can see the stock price pull back over the short term. Right now, Palantir stock is experiencing a load of publicity, which I really like, but it's also quite odd to see Palantir stock price trading for as cheap as it did back in the day, considering that this company is a very dominant growth company in the artificial and big data analytics space. So, by carrying a large amount of money on their balance sheet and having no debts, this company is a very good long-term play, which could experience enormous growth over the future. And since their earnings report gave investors the taste of their profitability potential, the company looks to have a phenomenal growth trajectory from 2024 onwards. However, 2023 will be an interesting year for this overall company, and I will tell you why that is in just a moment. First, let's go over some very positive news updates. So we've received more news updates from Ukraine, and the reason why this is important is because the Ukrainian military is using Palantir's software to accurately target tanks, artillery, and other types of military targets. On top of that, Palantir's software is also enabling them to make data-driven decisions on the battlefield. And this communicates to future investors in Palantir, as well as potential customers for this company, that their software works and that people can rely on their software, because not only does Palantir Technologies save lives, but it also helps end wars. The United States currently is supplying very effective intelligence to the Ukrainian forces, with Palantir being their ace in the hole. And I think overall this is just going to give more publicity to Palantir Technologies, which hopefully will not only help them land more clients, but hopefully expose Palantir to even more investors, which could increase the overall share price. Palantir, because they have two business segments, one business segment being their government business and their other segment being their commercial business, right now their dominant revenue stream is from their government clients, but I think in the future, commercial enterprises will supersede the amount of money and revenue that Palantir is achieving from their government segment, to where their commercial segment will eventually outpace it, because it is growing faster than their government segment, and I think it's just a matter of time until their commercial clients become their dominant revenue stream. Now, this is where me and the author start to disagree with one another, and remember, this is the bullish positive author. He says that Palantir is quote-unquote not that expensive anymore, and let me just go over what he says, and then I will provide more of a realistic view of this company. Right now, the author highlights that Palantir is trading for around $9, which is accurate right now, which is substantially more expensive than what it was trading at previously of around $6 close to their lows. Palantir, he says, is trading at just 7 times their forward sales estimates, and Palantir has the potential to become more profitable through the years. And so far, we are in agreement. However, let me put this into perspective. Palantir's current PS ratio is rather pricey. He is using a forward price to sales ratio off of projected revenue growth that hasn't been actualized yet. So this right now is an assumption. He said that Palantir is not expensive anymore, meaning based off of current metrics. So I don't know why he's using forward metrics to discount the current share price. That doesn't make much sense to me. However, I do agree with him that as the years progress, this company should become more profitable. I am in agreement with him on profitability, because most professionals believe Palantir will deliver between 20 cents to 30 cents regarding their earnings per share for the year of 2023 and for the year of 2024 respectively. And if Palantir can continue their outperformance in their overall estimates regarding both their revenues or earnings per share, this could add fuel to the flame of the overall share price, causing it to increase yet again. I also want to bring to your attention another agreement between me and the author, to where he stresses that Palantir actually surpassed their revenue and earnings estimate even during a challenging economic environment. Just think of what Palantir could achieve once the economic economy gets hot again. And that is something that investors do need to be aware of, because it means if Palantir is making big moves during a negative macroeconomic environment, once the economy ends up rebounding, the company could absolutely explode in their overall share price, to where the author thinks the company could be worth $20 by the end of the year. But this, of course, is where we will disagree. There is a very small possibility that the company could achieve a $20 share price by the end of the year. I just personally don't think that's realistic at all to assume. And I think the author ends up disagreeing with himself, because if we go down just further in the article, literally right under this, according to the company's projected growth rates, the company, even from a bullish standpoint, will be worth around $14 by the year of 2024. So I think the author is somewhat inconsistent here, because sure, I would gravitate more toward a $12 to $14 price target for the year of 2024, but not a $20 price target by the end of 2023. That is unrealistic to me, and I don't want to hype up this company more than it needs to be. We need to be realistic and grounded in our thought process. I also want to point out that according to this very bullish forecast of their overall revenue growth, earnings per share growth, and what the company could be worth, let's just dissect this really quickly. First off, his price to earnings ratios are extremely high, all being above a 30, and that's quite aggressive. Normally, even for technology stocks such as Palantir, we could anticipate around a 20 to 25 PE ratio. So I think these PE ratios are operating off an assumption that we haven't proved yet, and I think these are way too high. But with that being said, I do agree with his overall revenue projections, because I think this is in line with what management should project. For instance, if the economy ends up bouncing back in 2024, we could see a 26% to a 28% CAGR, which is a compounding annual growth rate in regards to their overall revenue. However, this year, the revenue is anticipated to suffer because it's only supposed to come in at around 18%, to where for the year they're going to bring in around $2.25 billion. And then based off of their growth rate percentages, that then reflects into what the company will bring in concerning their total revenues for that year. So I do agree with him in that regard. But now let's switch gears and talk about more of a bearish article regarding this company, because investors need to be aware of both the bullish positive news and the bearish negative news and assumptions that both of them make. For instance, this author assumes that the company will be worth around $9.80 by the year of 2026, and he's operating off of a PE ratio of around 20 times. Now, I think that is too low of a price target. By 2026, we definitely should have the PLTR stock above $10 at minimum. However, he does have another case to where the company could be worth around $14.70 by the year of 2026, operating off of a 30 times PE ratio. And I do think that is probably the most realistic of around a $15 price target for the year of 2026. However, I would agree that his overall estimates are rather low. Even his bullish assumption, I think, should be the bare minimum assumption on a price target spectrum. So for instance, he thinks the company by 2026 will be worth $14.70, and the prior article says that the company by 2026 should be worth around $33. So clearly, these two adamantly disagree with each other, and I'm somewhere in between. The only problem with projecting price targets out that far, all the way to 2026, is that beyond a year, we are making major assumptions regarding their overall earnings per share growth, their revenue growth, and what the macroeconomic environment would be, which is why you should always take these price targets with a grain of salt and always remember to do your own research. The good news is that the CEO is excited about large contracts that are currently in the works with the United States government. Just listen to what the CEO of Palantir Technologies had to say, and I quote, "The US government has these continuing resolutions. We have a number of large-scale contracts that are in the works. There's really no update. What does that mean year on year? I don't know. I do know that the CAGR on our US government has historically been over 30%. This is a world that is dangerous, that needs AI-driven and, in general, software-driven weaponry. And no other company in the world has been focused on this for the last 20 years than we are. And we are also on these programs," end quote. So overall, he's saying that Palantir is going to seal very large deals. He just doesn't know when that will actually take place. The CEO also believes that Palantir is very capable of continuously increasing their overall profits. He also says that the company is a very attractive acquisition target for other companies. So what does he mean by that? Well, let's quote him again, and he says, and I quote, "And so our basic view of Palantir is we are in this to make institutions of the West stronger. We believe we are winning because we are winning. I think there's going to be a lot of interest in us in buying our software and potentially in buying us. But we are pretty focused on our product, which is us. So really not thinking about that very much at all. Gratified that there's been speculation all over that people might want to buy us, but that's really irrelevant," end quote. So he's saying that as Palantir becomes more of a well-known company regarding their AI technology, other companies want to buy Palantir Technologies. And as of right now, we are just going to have to wait and see if anything comes of that in the future. But for me, I would rather not have this company acquired, and I would rather just wisely invest into this company going forward. As of their latest earnings report, they have a revamped earnings projection schedule and revenue, free cash flow, and cash flow from operations projections. For instance, if you take a look on screen, instead of this red X being at the end of 2024, because originally they were projected to become GAAP profitable at the end of 2024, you can see this company is rapidly moving to full year profitability for the year of 2023. We also see their revenues continuously scaling upwards, as well as their free cash flow and cash flow from operations. So in total, this company is still fundamentally strong. They are leaning on larger contracts that are yet to be completely landed. However, the CEO is confident in this, and the price targets range for this company anywhere between $4.50 on the low end to $20 on the high end. But professionals seem to have an average agreement that the company should be worth around $9.55 for the rest of 2023. So I would love to hear your thoughts on Palantir Technologies. Remember to stay realistic and not overexpose yourself to any singular risky growth company. Always remember to do your own research. Go ahead and smash that like button right now. Comment your thoughts down below. Subscribe if you are new, and I will see you in the next YT video.